What's up everybody, this is Jose from Southern Life. On today's video, we're going to go into the streets of Bradenton, Florida. This year, Bradenton is already on path to be the most dangerous city in Florida by homicide rate. We're going to go into the streets of the city and see some of the places where these crimes have taken place. Now this suburban area is growing and new homes like this are being built in Palmetto for its affordability because the cost to live here in Palmetto is actually more affordable than some of the larger cities like Tampa and Bradenton. And it is here in Palmetto, Florida, we're going to explore the first story for today's video of how Bradenton, Florida has become a dangerous place to live. We're going to start today on 26th Street East. Detectives in Manatee County are investigating a triple homicide that left 3 women dead. The suspect drove to a home in Palmetto, Florida, just north of Bradenton, where his cousin was outside at a family cookout. The suspect shot at his cousin, who was getting into her vehicle, leaving there at 9:40 p.m. The 29-year-old woman died 1 hour later. He then drove all the way to a home in Bradenton where he committed the 3rd homicide. Let's explore the neighborhood in Palmetto where this took place. Palmetto is a low-income area right outside of Bradenton. It is just to the north of the Manatee River. It was here in this neighborhood where a young woman, mother of 2 children, was gunned down in an SUV. Here in this neighborhood of Palmetto, Florida, a mother of 2 children, young woman, was killed as a man went on a murder spree, killing 3 people. 2 of those victims were in Bradenton, and the other one was here in Palmetto. And thus, this is just one of the many neighborhoods that has been affected by the recent onslaught of violence in this metropolitan area. The person that committed this crime went on to kill 2 other people, including his mother. 3 lives were lost in this one particular event with 3 different locations. A young woman, mother of 2 children, was gunned down in an SUV. The person who committed this crime was engaged in 3 different homicides on that particular day. He was later chased down and killed by law enforcement in North Florida. Despite geographically being a small place, it's no stranger to violence. Unfortunately, Palmetto, Florida is one of the locations in the Bradenton area that has seen the highest uptake in crime and violence. This is downtown Bradenton on a weekday. While other cities in Florida are known for being touristy like Sarasota or Boca Raton, Bradenton's downtown is more laid back and traditional. You would think by looking at this downtown and its historic vibe, this would be a quiet, peaceful city. However, downtown Bradenton is rarely visited by tourists. The streets of downtown Bradenton feature a lot of bars. Despite the fact Sarasota and Bradenton have about roughly the same population, it's a very different story here in Bradenton. Sarasota and Bradenton have a very similar population, both cities at just under 60,000 people. In 2023, Bradenton had countless homicides. However, last year, the city of Sarasota had 0 homicides. And many of the homicides happening in the city of Sarasota are in the city's northern boundary, adjacent to Bradenton, Florida. So while many other Florida cities' downtowns are known as tourist destinations, Bradenton is nothing more than a few old pubs, saloons, bars, whatever you want to call them. And it's no surprise that many of the incidents that have happened recently in Bradenton have happened at 1 or 2 in the morning, or even as late as 2:30 in the morning. It would almost seem that one simple way to avoid the vast majority of the violence in the city is to not get caught outside of the bars or nightlife late at night. But even the streets of downtown Bradenton are calm in comparison to what we're about to see next. So while downtown Bradenton doesn't see the worst of it all, there's two places that really attract the vast majority of the violence. One being mobile home parks, and two being bars and nightclubs. What's your name, sir?
Wesley Warren Smith.
All right, buddy. You live here in Bradenton?
Yes.
How long have you lived here in Bradenton?
About 10 years.
10 years. In those 10 years that you've lived in Bradenton, have you ever been a victim of like a robbery or a crime?
Probably 2 or 3 times.
Robbery, like people have robbed you?
Yeah.
Can you tell me how that went down?
They just took the money and ran off with it.
Wow.
They just took the money and ran off with it. I was like, wow. I didn't know that happened 2 or 3 times in 10 years. So
Gotcha.
Not true that was way worse than that.
Gotcha. What are some of the dangers? Like, are you homeless?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Obviously, homeless people, cops don't really pay attention to you if you try to report a crime.
No.
No, they won't. They don't care.
They don't listen to me the way they do other people. But if you do find somebody, give them space. Mm-hmm. That's what I find. Is that if somebody's being violent and acting violent, just give them space.
Give them space.
Yeah, try and get away from them, because not like get away from them, give them space to cool off. Usually they'll just cool off and it'll be a great day.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So basically, if you see somebody that's violent, drinking, or just out of control, back off, give them space.
Yeah, give them space.
Let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been a victim of a robbery where somebody will come up and like rob you and like hit you, or like
no,
not like that?
not like hit me.
No.
They ever hit me.
Okay, cool. What would you say, like, in 10 years in Bradenton, some of like the worst neighborhoods in the city, areas that are like, whoa, it's always hot?
Right, 9th Street West.
9th Street West.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about US 41?
US 41 too, and Fruitville Road.
Fruitville, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What about like Picktown, the mobile home parks?
Yeah.
It's hot in there?
Yeah.
Gotcha, buddy. How do you end up on the streets, brother?
My mom moved out of the state, so I had nowhere to live anymore. She had to move, and I didn't want to move, so she left me here.
Okay. Gotcha. Do you like living in Bradenton?
Yes.
Gotcha. What do you like about Bradenton?
I love Bradenton. This street, I love the way the city's built.
Okay.
It's built really nice.
Uh-huh. Like the downtown?
Yeah, the way it's built, like for weather, but it's all concrete. The way it's built is really nice.
Gotcha. So you like Bradenton?
Yeah.
Do you go to the beach a lot?
Yeah.
What's your favorite beach over here?
Manatee Beach.
I agree.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What are some of the challenges that you face being homeless out here?
Finding somebody to talk to sometimes.
Yeah.
Finding a place. The hardest problem is probably finding somewhere to sleep.
Gotcha. That's got to be hard, yeah, because the cops will run you off.
Yeah.
So finding a place to sleep is difficult.
Yeah.
If you were to leave, like, let's say your book bag next to where you're sleeping, is there a chance it'll be gone the next day in the morning if you're not paying attention?
No.
No?
No, my stuff's pretty safe.
You're lucky, man.
Yeah.
A lot of the homeless people that I talk to tell me that they're always getting their stuff stolen. Gotcha. What would you tell to somebody who would move to Bradenton, like
the beach?
The beach?
The beach is the best thing. The white sand ocean water beach is beautiful.
This is 9th Street West. Alright guys, so where we are right now is one of the most dangerous places in Bradenton. Bradenton is now the new homicide capital of Florida. The amount of homicides that have happened in this city means that you are more likely to be killed in a homicide here in Bradenton than you are anywhere else in the state of Florida. Buenas, señor, ¿cómo está? Bien, gracias. Bradenton, Florida is now, with this new wave of violence, the most dangerous large city in Florida. In this particular neighborhood that we're in right now, it's absolutely the most dangerous neighborhood in the city. And we just have to be kind of really careful. I can't even believe that I'm out and about walking in this neighborhood, really. It really is a dangerous place to be. And in fact, I have to just keep an eye on my vehicle, even though I'm only parked here briefly, to make sure that nobody is on my truck. Somebody was killed over an argument over drugs. And this is one of the homicides that happened here in Bradenton. And we're actually gonna leave right away. You can see something big happen up there. It's just down the road. You can see a lot of police activity down that way. So we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving. And just keep it moving. Permiso, señor, gracias. But like I said, right in front of these mobile homes, an argument over drugs led to one of the many homicides Bradenton has seen. So this neighborhood is definitely a crazy spot to be. And we're just gonna go ahead and roll up out here because it is just way too sketchy to be out here. I literally parked my truck for a minute. And as soon as I parked my truck, there's people on it already. They came to scope out the truck. So no, you can't even get out in this neighborhood. Again, this is the most dangerous neighborhood, one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in what is now the most dangerous city in Florida. So out here, there's no questions about it. This is one of the people that came to scope out my truck. I literally parked my car. I mean, I got out, like, and that's it. I didn't even put on my seat, but I just want to get away from there. I literally parked my car for what wasn't even a minute, and there was already people looking at my truck. So it didn't really give me a chance to walk around. I was like, well, either we get back in the truck and save our stuff, or you get it. But you understand that this is now the most dangerous city in Florida by homicide rate. All right, guys. So the other site where there was a homicide was right here in this empty lot. This was a homeless camp. It was here in this homeless camp where a man killed another man and buried the body right here off of US 41. So literally this accident that unfolded up ahead, I'm gonna guess there's gonna be casualties here because they got the Manatee County Sheriff's Office blocking the road. But you can see up ahead there's a car accident. But it was actually here on this empty lot where one of the homicides took place. Then bury the body. Just imagine. I go for it. All right, bro. We're just about every single one of these multiple cars. I've seen a homeless. Check out the Puerto Ricans. But that hasn't. Wow, what are you doing, Papi? Bro, what are you doing? Papi. Papi, te van a arrollar, quítate la calle. Estás borracho, quítate, quítate, estás borracho, muévete a la calle. Quítate, te van a arrollar, primo. Quítate. Like everywhere you look in Bradenton is complete madness. There's so many people that are drunk, are high, and just acting a complete fool out here, driving bicycles on the road without looking, that the area is really dangerous. Like this person's just pulling a U-turn there, this person's driving a bicycle on the road. You can kind of start to see that Bradenton is a dangerous place to drive. You can either be a victim of a crime, or you could just be a victim of somebody's ignorance while driving or biking. You know, it's really dangerous out here, and that truck hit hard, man. Welcome to the most dangerous place in Bradenton, Florida. Where we are now, right now, has seen 6 homicides in the last year. Just 2 nights ago, somebody lost their lives right here in this parking lot where we are right now. And this is the most dangerous place in all of Bradenton, Florida. But not only did somebody lose their lives 2 nights ago, but that wasn't the only homicide that's taken place at this location this year. This is the second homicide this year that has taken place right here. Now, behind this area is a mobile home park, and this mobile home park has had 4 homicides in the last year, with 2 homicides along the front street, which means that this little strip right here where we are at right now has seen about 6 homicides in the last year. As we have seen today, it's not just homicides, it's also simply the way people, pedestrians and people, of course, driving, conduct themselves. You can see back behind this business there are homeless camps. Now, one of the 2 homicides that took place here, the person who was killed ran in this direction, and they actually died over here. So despite the fact the shooting happened over there, the body landed over here. And this is the most dangerous section of Bradenton, Florida. Now, behind us, in that direction, is the Town Mobile Home Park. This mobile home park has seen several homicides in the last year. I believe between all these mobile home parks back here, there's been a total of 4. Total of 4 homicides. Now, where I left my vehicle parked, it's a good possibility that somebody could literally break my windows just because I left the car there. After all, this entire area is surrounded by homelessness, homeless camps, vagrants, and it is a very dangerous part of the city. Understand that in the neighborhood we are in right now, there have been 6 homicides over the last year. Several of them here in this mobile home park we are entering, the area known as Town. This is a hot and dangerous area, and well, even parking my vehicle, I risk having my windows broken, or who knows, anything could happen out here. It's just a very dangerous area. We are absolutely in the zombie land out here, guys. And a lot of the people that bought these homes originally were people looking for affordable retirement. Unfortunately, today this area has become an open sewer of crime and addiction and homicide. So you walk through here, this feels like you're in Philly or Baltimore or something. It doesn't really feel. Please help me. But at the same time, I'm walking through here and nobody's bothering me. And that's the uniqueness of Florida, in that it's kind of like everybody minds their own business. Parking lot. And then we're going to leave. Again, we're in an area that's just surrounded by homeless camps, surrounded by trap houses. So it's definitely nerve-wracking to be out here. Well, really, if you had nothing to lose, it wouldn't be that nerve-wracking to be out here. But the fact that my vehicle is parked over there, as you guys saw at the first mobile home park, as soon as I parked my vehicle, I walked 100 feet away from my vehicle, and there's already 2 people kind of looking through the window. So that's the problem with this area. It's that it doesn't take long for somebody to try to burglarize your vehicle. And, well, that would really suck. Interestingly, this area, again, despite all the crime, homicides, and murders, if you just mind your own business, nobody really seems to bother you. But it seems like around every corner are homeless people, vagrants. I mean, after all, these are trap spots in a lot of situations. And it's no secret that some of the things that lead to homicides are drugs. One of the homicides that we talked about today was over drugs. There's an argument over drugs that turned violent. Well, if you don't buy drugs, it doesn't affect you. If you don't hang outside of nightclubs at 2:30 in the mornings, it also doesn't affect you. And while it's unfortunate that these things are happening, there is kind of a common denominator among all of these areas and all of these crimes, is that for the most part, if you just mind your own business and stay the crap out of the way, it doesn't really affect you. It's one of those deals where if you just mind your own business, stay the crap out of the way, you're pretty much, it's not a problem. And like a good portion of the people that are walking around here are just totally zombied out. They're not within their capacity. There's just people that are either just totally zombied out. And I think, you know, a huge reason why there's so much murder and homicide in the city is because the police department here isn't really doing their job. And that sounds like a blanket statement to make, but if you think about it, Manatee County, the county that we're in right now, is actually one of the safest counties in Florida. So if you look at Manatee County is one of the safest counties in Florida. And guys, I am literally worried that somebody has already broken into my car. We'll see if somebody is or not. But literally, it probably will not take long for somebody to discover my vehicle, my brand new truck in this parking lot. The county we're in, Manatee, has one of the lowest homicide rates in the state of Florida, far below the national average. Now, not only does Manatee County have a low homicide rate, so does Sarasota County next door. In other words, generally, Sarasota and Bradenton, as a metropolitan area, are safe. But it's not particularly that the area in general is bad. It's a great area to live. It's simply that city of Bradenton. So far, the truck is still there. Florida's new homicide capital. And the mobile home parks that are around this little area, US 41, and that road up there is Highway 70. Locals here call it 53rd more often than not. The intersection of US 41 and Highway 70 in Bradenton, one of the absolute most dangerous places anywhere in the state of Florida. I do have some leftover chicken wings and tenders, I think they're called. And we're gonna give them to somebody out here if we can find somebody who hasn't eaten. There's some graffiti here on the sidewalk. Can't really read what it says. It's kind of unlegible, but it is there. And you can see somebody passed out over here in front of this building. This city of Bradenton is now more dangerous than Oakland, California with its new homicide rate. I don't have a lot of food, but I do have a little bit of food, and if somebody needs it, I'll hand it to them. What's wrong, man? Hey, you want some chicken tenders, bro? Let's take that, bro. You got it? So this is Bradenton, Florida, unfortunately. It's a very unfortunate situation. Sad. The amount of homelessness and crime in Bradenton. When I first moved here, it's never been a great city, but it has just spiraled out of control in the last little bit. Hey, buddy. What can I do for you, brother? What do you need?
These to be taken off.
You need to take that off?
Yeah, and then that
What happened to you? You're missing a leg?
I'm missing 2 legs.
You're missing 2 legs.
Yeah, 9 amputation I have. Gangrene.
Holy crap, dude. You want me to call an ambulance?
No,
I can't. I don't have any gloves on me, buddy.
I have everything. All I need is my stuff.
Brother, I don't know what type of diseases you got. I can't just go in there and start doing stuff like that.
Then go. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
I'm asking you something.
I know, but there's some things I can't do, brother.
Fine. That's fine.
I got you, man. I want to help you, but I don't know what you got, brother. I'm sorry, man. Can I buy you something to eat? I can bring you food.
I need juice.
Wait, say that again?
I said,
Uh-huh.
my sugar is dropping.
Okay.
I need juice.
Juice?
Yeah.
And fruit maybe?
Fruit.
Okay, I'll bring you fruit and I'll bring you juice, okay?
Yeah.
But I can't get up in there because I don't know what you got going on. I'll be back, okay? What do you want? Do you want apple, whatever I can get? You need juice? Sugar?
Yeah, I need sugar.
Sugar. Okay, let me see what I can get for you, okay?
Thank you.
I'll be back in a bit. Guys, this is the frustration of living in this city is this. That you have somebody, looks like he's got arms, legs amputated, and he doesn't have anything. Now, I Uber drive towards the end of the month. So if you guys know, Uber driving pays $14, $13 an hour during this time of year. So it's to give up a lot of my time to get this person $10 worth of something. Why this person is out here with amputations and doesn't have food. He wanted me to help him take the cast off. I can't go in there and start taking somebody's cast off because I'm not medical. But this is the situation in Bradenton, Florida. This city situation is frustrating at times. Somebody's responsible. Somebody is responsible for what's going on here. And honestly, I mean, it's frustrating. It really is. All right, so I told these police officers right here about the dude over there. They said they're aware of him. They know he's there. And unbelievable. This is the situation in Bradenton. And, you know, law enforcement, they can't do anything about that guy either. Like, what can a cop do? They're just here to reply to phone calls and whatnot. Like, the cops aren't able to do anything for him either. It's like, law enforcement's job isn't to look after the hungry. It's you know whose fault it is? It's us as a society, really, every last one of us. Because you can't expect the government to give a crap. Dude, the only time people fighting over there. The only time the government gives a crap is when it's time to vote. I'm gonna get this guy a water. I think one's for him, one's for me. A water, a juice, which he asked me for. They didn't really have too many juice selections here at this Wawa, but it's what they had, right? A water, a juice, 2 bananas, and some fruit mix. Now, let me tell you something. A lot of people tell me, you know, when you do your good deeds, don't do them in public. I believe in that. Here's the thing. I'm not doing good deeds. I'm getting paid for these YouTube videos. So this isn't a good deed. This is my job as a YouTuber. Whoever gives to the poor will lack nothing. So let's get this to this person. And to the people that say that, I don't really think these are good deeds. If you see somebody on the side of the road missing an arm and missing 2 legs, sleeping outside, what if it were to rain tonight? If it started raining right now, that man is sleeping in the rain, missing 2 legs. That's not a good deed. That is an obligation. A good deed that's not a good deed. If you see somebody who's literally dying on the side of the road and you don't give them a glass of water, bro, that's not a good deed. That's an obligation. So, are there bugs inside of this? I hope those bugs are on the outside. Anyways, if you see somebody dying by the side of the road and you buy them something to eat, that's not a good deed. That's an obligation, just so you know that. That's not of, oh, you could have done something nice. That's of, why didn't you do something nice to that person? So I think a lot of you people are really mistaken with that one. It's not oh, I did a good deed for a person. It's no, it's not what you did. It's why didn't you do it? If you see somebody dying by the side of the road and you don't help them and you help them, that's not a good deed. That's not a good deed. That's an obligation. But my point being, I do not think that by me giving this person a banana, I'm doing them a good deed. That's not a good deed. It's an obligation. It's an absolute obligation. Now, if you got kids and families, I understand you can't be walking around a murderous neighborhood at night looking for people that need help, because your obligation is to take care of your family. So I understand people that drive by this intersection every day and they're not able to actually get on the ground and help these people. I wish I don't know. Hey, my man, I got you the food I promised you. Here's the food I promised you, my man, all right?
All right, buddy.
There it is. You got waters, you got juice. You got water, you got juice.
I appreciate it.
I wish I could do more, okay?
You've done more. You've done a lot for me.
I know, but
No, there's no but. You're a wonderful individual.
I got you. Have a good night, okay?
So,
Have a good night, okay? All right, bro. I know it sounds crazy, but some of these people watching in the sidelines that saw me get him food, they'll come over here and they'll take it from him. These people out here are absolutely... You guys see how thankful that guy was? Did you guys see how thankful that guy was for the little bit that I was able to do for him? Guys, on today's video, I really wanted to drive around a lot of these neighborhoods and show you guys not just one little... We weren't able to cover every single homicide that's taken. I wanted to literally, like, the goal of today's video was to show you guys every single place where a homicide has taken place in Bradenton. Unfortunately, there have been so many homicides in Bradenton that it's impossible to pack it all into one day. Now, I'm really worried that I left this food with this guy, because some of these people on the sideline will actually see that I gave him food and then go over there and literally take it from him. And I know that sounds crazy, but that is actually the reality of these types of neighborhoods, of the things that happen. Somebody literally will go in there and take it from him. All right, guys, so we're now in Pigtown, and again, the goal of today's video was actually to show you guys every single site where somebody has been murdered in Bradenton over the last year. However, it's already late at night and we have still not been able to get to every one of these sites. In other words, we've only covered a few of the sites. I had details. I wrote down every name of the person, every street, every detail, and I was going to do like a complete compilation of everybody who's been killed in Bradenton in the last year. However, I got so nervous when I actually stepped on the ground. I couldn't remember my notes. I couldn't remember where I was going. It's been a really nerve-wracking day for me, because the places that we've gone to today are very dangerous neighborhoods, and very dangerous specific places in dangerous neighborhoods. So it's been kind of scary. Now, I think this might be one of the last ones we'll see today. Like in this mobile home right here, a young man, I believe it was 18 years old, was killed, and he was known to give his clothing. When his clothing he didn't care for it anymore, he would give it to the homeless. He was killed at his home right here in this area of Pigtown in the last year. I believe he was 18 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And again, I took notes of everything that I was gonna do, every victim, everything. I had taken notes, but once I actually got on the ground, my mind went blank today. It's just been an overwhelming day. And what's going on here? I don't know if this is a party, but we're gonna keep it moving. It's a weekday. It could be a memorial for the person that passed. I want those on so they can see him and they'll try to shoot. It's probably a memorial for the person that passed. Yeah, it is. Okay. So that's just a parking lot party. Probably a memorial for the person that passed. I roll my windows down so they could see that I'm not a threat and whatever, because, you know, I don't want them to think. I just wanted to see. But you can see there's a bunch of people homeless here. Maybe 10, 15 people here. The only thing I can tell you right now is that, you know, if you're a young person watching this video, 2 or 3 in the morning is when people get killed. After 9:30 is when people get killed. Nobody gets killed at 5 in the afternoon. Homicides happen at 2 in the morning. None of the kids that I went to high school with are in my life today. None of the kids that I went to middle school with are in my life today. Eventually, you're going to grow up, and if you live in the hood and you stay in the hood, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, you might stick around and be around the people and neighborhoods you grow up in, but in 5 years, none of this is going to matter. As a matter of fact, next summer, none of this is going to matter. If you're out there at 2 or 3 in the morning, that is when homicides take place. If you're involved in drug activity, that is the type of thing people dispute over. If you are having relationships with people who have a partner, those are the types of things that will get you killed. If you stay away from drugs, don't go out clubbing, and you are with one partner who's your wife or your girlfriend, and you're in a serious relationship, nobody's going to kill you over that person. Now, if you go and you sleep with somebody's girlfriend, or you're involved in drug activities, or you're out there at 2 or 3 in the morning trying to perpetrate that you're a gangster, that is the type of scenario that will get you killed. And this homicide in the trailer park to the right of us was a person who killed his mother and the mother's boyfriend. And it was a family abuse situation. Unfortunately, in the state of Florida, over the last 3 or 4 years, I've noticed that family abuse situations have become even more common than before. It used to be that homicides were just people involved in street activity or outside of a nightclub. But today, we're starting to see more people that are being killed by people they know are family. The first scene that we saw today was a person who took out 3 people. One of them was his mother. The trailer park was just passed on the right was somebody who also killed their mother. Now, that's been 2 mothers killed by their sons in Bradenton over the last year. That is a very concerning trend. A absolute skyrocketing homicide rate. Incredible increase in the homicide rate in this area. And unfortunately, I have to say, it doesn't look like there's going to be an end in sight, because the youth that's growing up here in Bradenton, all they're seeing or hearing about is homicides, murders, etc. The last thing that I want to add is that the state of Florida changed its gun laws recently, and I do feel like these new gun laws are going to contribute to a higher homicide rate. But I don't think it's going to contribute to a 120% increase in the homicide rate. I think there's other factors at play here other than the new gun laws. Now, Florida used to have one of the best gun laws of any state, but now to cater to people's political ideology, they changed it. Florida used to require a concealed carry permit class. On 31st and Osprey, there was a homicide committed. Now, that's in Sarasota, but on the north side, very close to the Bradenton line. On 31st and Osprey, homicide was committed in Sarasota. The perpetrators were 14 years old, and they killed another person who was working on a car. Now, in that same neighborhood, there had been a series of burglaries where people had stolen guns, and they're trying to figure out if the 14-year-olds are linked to the burglaries. But at the end of the day, you have 2 14-year-olds in Sarasota waiting to be tried as adults to hear the determination of the state attorney over a homicide. 14 years old. 2 14 years old in Sarasota, right next door, waiting to be tried on a homicide. The youth is unfortunately surrounded, and if you are a parent here in Bradenton, I hope you're doing the best you can to keep your kids. Instead of buying a new pickup truck, buy yourself a fishing pole, buy yourself a boat, and spend as much time as you possibly can with your children. Keep them away from other people on these streets, because the only thing that's brewing here in Bradenton is addiction and death.